episode of my Formula 1 26 My Team J-Pro Career Mode. In episode number 23, we're racing at the Qatar Grand Prix at Losail International Circuit in Doha, Qatar. You missed the previous one, episode number 22. It was at the US Las Vegas Grand Prix. Be sure to check it out in my live streaming on youtube.com/@speedjpro303 and click on the red button to your right to subscribe to my channel. You can also check my other links. Go to twitch.tv/speedjpro303 and follow up to my channel there. And those are the only, and those are the 1 or 2 channels. And then TikTok coming soon. That will have sim racing coverages. And now, if you want to check my AI videos, my Giantess videos, you could go into the link at TikTok at SpeedJPro303, Bomberero in Instagram, and DeviantArt at SpeedJPro3, and then also now that I created a Patreon, you can check Patreon out, patreon.com/SpeedGiantess3. That is my new link for my my Patreon channel. You want to check on that, and you can see ads for free. And then for those who want to see my Giantess videos there from Patreon, you can add me to it for a membership, and you can pay $5 a month. And I'm not going any further than that or anything else. Just to make it pure, simple, and legitimate. And donate to patreon.com/SpeedGiantess3. That is my new link for the for my lineups of the SpeedJPro303 channels. Well, in our previous race, Las Vegas, we had a bad start, but then the rest of the race, it was a magnificent dominating job by Pepsi Marti, and he's next to the last race of running the Team J-Pro 45, and same goes for Vic Martins, before next season that we go to with George Russell and Carlos Sainz. And we're still choosing to see if we're going to go with Mercedes or Ferrari, but we'll make the announcement on that when we do our preseason 2 coverage on the Formula 1 26 game. And then we're also a month away from the NASCAR 26 game, which will be coming out next month on September 15th, the week before my 45th birthday. And it is my birthday gift for that one when that comes out next month. And it is coming, but we're still waiting on the dev diary for part 3. They still haven't brought it out yet, but it will be coming out soon, but we'll see if it does. Well, can't believe it's the last 2 races to go. We had a lot of delays on this Formula 1 26 game since June that we did that because we were trying to get into a new channel and everything else, and putting it all together and running back up again and see if it will stay that way, because you're only going to see sim racing and real live channels on SpeedJPro303 on YouTube. All right, so we are getting ready for qualification. We have done a great job in practice. We should be able to project to maybe get a minute 24 here at the Losail International Circuit, and we are facing our last grid penalty of the season. So it looks like the engines and everything else and the upgrades should be all right. Should be able to have a nice, normal, and clean race. And this is also the first time that the Qatar Grand Prix is not a sprint format race. It's a normal race now, so now we're just doing it normally. Qualification and the race itself for 57 laps. All right, let's get out to there. Try to get maybe our second pole position for Audi. We already won the Constructors Championship in the previous race at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, so we have won everything from the Team J-Pro 45 team. And now we can party the last 2 races in the Middle East at Qatar, and then the next one in the season finale, episode number 24, at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at Yas Marina. Let's get ready for qualifying.
It's all about flow and pace today, qualifying in Qatar, a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So welcome along.
Oh, that's all right about the sensor fault.
Right, we've lost telemetry. In fact, we've lost pretty much all sensor information. It's being looked into now, so just bear with us for a few minutes if you can, please.
Hope we don't have any iggly problems during next season. We were projecting it was going to be a minute 24, but already Charles Leclerc has moved to a minute 24 on top of the charts. And we're facing that 5th place of the grid penalty. It'll be our last grid penalty that we face, because in the next race we don't have to worry about it in the season finale of Abu Dhabi.
Okay, I'm afraid we've dropped to P24. That's P24.
Well, remember the Qatar Grand Prix, we're still in jeopardy of Formula 1, because I don't know if they're going to be racing with me. So, you know, they're still fighting against trying to have some freedom there in the Middle East. Well, not bad. 25.499, and it moves us up into P4. So not a bad qualifying here at the Qatar Grand Prix. I know it's going to move us down into P9 if we could try to stay up there, but we just need to get it a little bit more quicker. So Charles Leclerc takes the top spot. But the question is, are those others are going to be taking grid penalties? Well, who knows? We'll see. Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton is running his final 2 races of his Formula 1 career, and he won't be back next season in our My Team JPO career mode. Somebody else will be taking over that car for next season, but we don't know who will it be. Because we already know Pepsi Marti is going to go to the Audi Revolt team, but we don't know where Vic Martins is going to be. Either it's going to be a free agent or another top driver may take over the Ferrari. Because we already got Russell and Sainz. Leclerc continues to top the board with a minute 24.799. Yeah, this year I've been really busy on everything else. That's why I haven't been really doing much of the Speed Circle here at Food Channel ever since my original channel was gone. And trying to recover from my
We've dropped to P17. P17.
Recover from my new channel. I'm not the only one. I know everybody else. You know, they love my AI work with TikTok and everything else, so that's good story. it's even quicker. It's a minute 25.460 in P3. It's a little bit quicker than it was in the first qualifying. P3 only about 6 car lengths behind Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc may have changed engines on his car. Well, we still stand in P3. We're still in a very comfortable spot. And Vic Martins did a great job with a minute 25.842. But remember, he'll be starting dead last because he had to change every one of his components. And this will also be his last grid penalty, because in the next race he'll don't have to worry about it. So he could have his best race of the season in the season finale in his last ride, and so is Pepe in the Team J445 Audi. But we're going to be called the Team J445 next season and then take Audi out of our name. When season 2 will start in the Formula 1 by Team J4 career mode. And you know, next month we got NASCAR coming up. Try to do more of the NASCAR season. We're going to probably maybe do 3 seasons of Formula 126, and due to the fact that we had that delay a couple of months ago when our original channel just got out of our reach. Just hated it when they did that, and even the models are gone too. Well, quite a few of them, because they must have overdid it. It did get us faster. It was a minute 25.297, but it brought us down into P9. But it is going to place us into P8. But the question is, well,
that wraps up qualifying. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
A lot of grid penalties. And we were only 5 car lengths off the pace. So we did a nice job out there, but we just couldn't get enough of speed and effort to make it into the top 5 and everything. So we started P8 for now, but now the question is, when are we going to start? We're only facing a 5th place of a grid penalty. So no matter where we start, we'll see how it goes on here for the Qatar Grand Prix. But a good job and a great qualifying, a minute 25. You know, I'm very glad we're going to get out of the Audi ride because, you know, when we get to Mercedes and Ferrari, it will run much more quicker. And then probably it will bring us back into the front of the field. All right, so we're starting in P8 here at the Qatar Grand Prix. For the first time now, it is now a regular race instead of a sprint race. All the atmosphere, the crowd brought back their peace again in Qatar. in episode number 23 of our Formula One My Team JFO career mode. This is next to the last race of the Formula One first season to complete it finally, and then we could do it much more quicker in the second season, and before that NASCAR 26 comes out next month. Let's get ready for the Qatar Grand Prix to bring Audi another Cinderella win to make it win number 17. Here we go. Very glad my speaker was working, because you know in the previous race I didn't even say anything at all because my speaker on my headset was loose. I didn't even know it was loose in my previous race, so I do apologize for that.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once more to the Middle East for what could be a very tricky night for our drivers tonight. Sandy, dusty, and with the sun setting, the temperature dropping too. This could be an intriguing event. Stand by for the Qatar Grand Prix. We're back here in Losail for a track that's 3.36 miles long, 16 turns around its unique three-pronged shape. It's fast and it's flowing, and there's a good overtaking opportunity down the long straight and into turn one. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, Max Verstappen, and Martins, Albon, Sainz, Hadja, and Pepsi Marti, Lindblad, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Lawson, Bottas, Colapinto, Esteban Ocon, and Ollie Behrman, Bortoletto, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Hülkenberg, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. So we come to Qatar this weekend, and what's the word I'm looking for when I think about the middle part of this track? Relentless.
The whole track's relentless. It's predominantly built to be a motorbike circuit. For an F1 car, that means a lot of G-force. It's hot here, it's humid this time of the year that we come to in Formula One, and this puts pressure on the drivers. It also puts pressure on the car and the demands of the tyres. So it's a brutal circuit.
Okay, so I know we've already won the championship, it's amazing, but it's not time to switch off yet. We can relax in this race, but I want you to enjoy it. I also want a strong result.
Well, we'll get a better result over here. So we lost a couple of positions in that 5-place grid penalty, while a lot of drivers did get facing base grid penalties and down on the order, especially Kimi Antonelli, who's going to start dead last in this race. But let's see if he can try to finalize his strategy and then maybe move up in position, because I know he's going to be moving up. So now that we won everything, we completed the Constructors title, we made history, Audi winning its first ever Constructors title. It may be the only title that we have won during this year. Well, let's hope Audi in the future, in Formula One in real life, will be very competitive, and it will be the future car. And then we have others coming like Cadillac, and also, you know, we already got Ford coming back. We already got Ford already back, but Toyota's coming back soon. And then we're also expecting maybe BMW might be coming back as well in Formula One. But that's just a rumor, but we'll see how it holds out in the future. Because the future of Formula One is going to be very promising and very impressive. And you know, the 27 game is going to be nicer too. Okay, so let's see how the strategy will play out here. So we're going to start out with the medium tires. We're not going to go with the soft. So Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri locks up the front row here. So we can make it on a one-stop strategy now, because now that we don't have the sprint race anymore in the Qatar Grand Prix. So now we can go out there for 25 laps and then go to the last 32 laps. Last 32 laps on the hard tires, and then finish it out. So episode number 23, we're next to the last race of the season, of our season 1, to complete finally in our Formula 1 My Team JPO career mode, Pepsi Marti. And remember, season 2 on my Speed JPO 303 channel will be a full season, just like it was in the second season for my MotoGP. All right, let's get ready for fast action racing in our night race at the Qatar Grand Prix of Losail. We're going to bring a Doha plenty of sounding engines. The car is very hot and dry over here. They didn't really have much rain, but they did have some rain this season. If they bring their pieces back to Qatar, then MotoGP can race over here. And if they do, then possibly Formula 1 can race over here. They don't have to. They have to wait until November on the official award if they are going to race here. Because the Bahrain Grand Prix is going to be.
Okay, radar is clear.
Malaysia.
Weather is looking good for now.
It's going to be the Bahrain Grand Prix, but they're using the Malaysian track as a replacement just for this season, because next season, possibly if everything goes as peaceful over there in the country of Bahrain, and remember 2027 it will be back to its season opener in March.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts.
teammate. I don't want to get my teammate Vic Martins because he's having a good start so far. He's good. Oh, what a tough break for the McLaren team. It looks like both of the McLaren cars made contact with each other with Norris and Piastri going at it. And I think Max Verstappen could be the leader. Max the leader. that the McLaren team might have worn out motors. I have a very questionable motor.
Okay, so overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past. Okay, so you got overtake now, overtake enabled.
Qatar over the years, we've always had a lot of towing to that front stretch, and it's not a problem anymore with this new battery power system. We're also having to get mention to the regulation change, so that it came out later than expected. But we still have all of our components completed because remember this is an expansion game, it's not a brand new game. They're already catching up on Max Verstappen, the battle for P2.
Right, you've got boost mode available now. Use it if you want to. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Look how easily I'm getting around Max Verstappen in the floor without having fast sallies. Because I have a fresh engine in this car. It was a good thing I took that grid penalty. Taking over the lead here at the Qatar Grand Prix. Best move that we made for the team is changing the new engine so we could use it for this race and the season finale in Abu Dhabi. A little bit of a weird start here for the Qatar Grand Prix. They had a couple of contacts, but luckily the game is still holding on and not damaged. I better have some little stub marks right now on the front of the wing. It will hold out for the rest of the race if we don't make any more contact.
Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race.
Look how easy I'm getting around George Russell, and I take over the lead. And now it took only just about 4 laps to go from 10 all the way to the front.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
We're already about 2.4 seconds on George Russell. I think George Russell and the others may have a very worn engine. That's what's making the difference with the Audi here at Qatar. Changing at the last minute of the season, and how it's what we're doing.
need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
The races that we have this weekend is only NASCAR because they'll be racing at the Richmond Raceway. We're already getting very close to the chase for the championship. We have Richmond, and I think next week they go to New Hampshire and then Daytona. The Richmond Raceway, that's going to be a Saturday night race. They're not going to race during the day on Saturday, or rather the afternoon. They're going to race it tomorrow night. We will be watching the Richmond race. No IndyCar action like this week. I think there'll be a MotoGP action. I don't know. It's going to be one of that because they're going to be at the Spanish Grand Prix at Motorland Aragon. Next one is
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 12.9 seconds.
Spanish Grand Prix race in Barcelona. We may have that for you later on. If we ever do another one, we'll try to do another one so we can finish out the first season of Formula One.
Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
back into Formula 1 2027 and classic tracks. Then we could do like a classic, we could do a classic championship mode as well. The 2027 season is going to look very promising. You know that the Dutch Grand Prix isn't going to be returning, because they will transition over to the Turkish Grand Prix in Istanbul. We would love to see the Malaysian Grand Prix back too. And we'll have to wait on the announcement for the teams in Malaysia to come back on the schedule, because they haven't raced in 10 years for the calendar. Currently used for the MotoGP racing event over there, so they're going to be going there later on this season. It used to be a tight battle here after turning 57 laps, and we are running away from the field here in Losail, leading about 15 seconds over Piastri. And Marti is flying out there in this Audi. I think Vic Martins could be running in 8th position. Russell is now moving back forward. 25, during the 25 lap mark, everybody is going to be pitting. There was also future talks about a Formula 1 race coming up in another Middle East country, but they wanted to bring this one into the Middle East.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Because they're going to have to show a little bit more respect over there in their country. It's all over the world and everything else that they use in the Formula 1 race in Iran. I don't know if it may or may not happen or anything else. I like the other vendors, you know, I like the ones in South Africa. They're coming with a future to come back to the Himalaya circuit. They haven't been there since 1993. And then also racing in Rwanda. There's the possibility that there could be 2 Africans that become races in the future. They could go to Rwanda. Remember, they already had the Rwanda Awards ceremony over there. It is a nice little place over there. And I would prefer that we're going to South Africa. And I've already had experience in some of those circuits during the Forza Motorsports era when I was running the sports cars there. I did run an old Formula 1 car in Cinderella. I know the circuit pretty well in South Africa and Cinderella. I think it's located in Jonesboro, South Africa. It's not in Cape Town. Be a nice battle between the McLarens and the Mercedes. There'll be a decision time in the season finale race in episode number 24 of whether I'm going to go with Mercedes or Ferrari. That way we can get a little bit more about what pole position. And then we're also hooking up with the new sponsor as well.
lap to your teammate behind, 32.5 seconds.
Never had a huge size of the lead like this in Losail. We used to run the far closer than that. Now it's like far a little bit like a further. But a new Audi engine is really making a much big difference here in Losail. Did a great job here when I ran the Motor GP car in the fourth race race right now. The two McLarens are now for second and third. Now Russell's going to back up into the fourth, halfway around Max Verstappen. With that 10th anniversary that I'm going to do with Formula 1 2017 for one season. See if I wonder if I can, remember I did that by a controller, but I'm going to do it by a steering wheel. With that whole entire season, when I first started this Formula 1 racing gaming, I used the controller. I was just starting to
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Steering wheel, yeah. He hasn't made a move at all, but he is struggling here at Qatar. He must have probably made a pit stop.
window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
With this huge lead, now we can just make a one-stop strategy. Because the hard tires are going to last us all the way to the end. Antonelli is moving up. He's up to the P17 while others have been going into the pits. He's moved from dead last all the way to 17th position. He's already about to be a lap down. His teammate Russell is doing a great job already in fourth place. He's been up and down for most of the race, but he's not keeping up with his team opponent. Let's Pepsi Marti go.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
We're going to wait on Piastri. He's going to be going into the pit. It's a 40 already, a 40-second margin. We're also going to be changing suits and everything else. We haven't done that all season long on the 2026 expansion pack game. We will be changing it for the season finale to say farewell to Pepsi Marti and Vic Martins into our team.
Okay, remember to pit this lap. confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap. Okay, go, go, go.
Nice
Perfect job
reversal
from you
here
and
at
the crew
Cinderella.
there, mate. We're delighted with that.
Good job, guys. We're in the halfway point of this race, and now we have 30 laps.
That was our
remaining
last stop.
on
No
these
more scheduled
hard
pit
tires.
stops. Let's go.
Let's bring it home on this denominating passenger car from Losail. Vic Martins goes into the pits. Max Verstappen is still out there with his stop, but he has to make another round
Okay,
of pit
Victor's
stop.
in the pits. He's coming in for his stop now. Tyre condition still looking good.
48 seconds now over Lando Norris. Still continues to be second and third right now for the Ferrari. The 30th, 57 lap. We got 8 laps remaining in Losail. We as construction all season long. That's all these lap cars over there. It's supposed to be very cautious. That SM sign right there. Where's the denominating car here? We want to get bring it to the end in one piece without any additional damage. We make contact with anyone, then we could change over and then maybe put the medium sign. Yeah, that's what we're back to. Verstappen has had very much time on those soft tires. He's going to be losing positions if he doesn't get himself into the pit. Should be able to maybe projectively maybe get a top 5 finish. Good run today for Espanol in the ball. One thing we need in the Formula 127 game is changing the liveries in our Formula 1 race teams. The liveries have been the top program priority for these Formula 1 cars. We should be able to maybe increase something like that. If you're running this on private Peru.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good.
And now we're putting a lap on the two McLarens. Top is still holding on to the P5. We got one more one of the most best ever denominating efforts I've ever had with this car. I have never had a mega size lead like this. Winning in 8 seconds ahead of Lando Norris is still holding on to second place, along his teammate Oscar Piastri is doing a wonderful job in 3rd place. Then the last car to lead lap is Russell. So he isn't too far behind. Qatar Grand Prix. He even looks like going to release water out there too. It used to be Pepsi Marti. It's still having an absolutely rocket ship performance today at Losail. Yes, he's still not far behind. He still has a chance to get into P2. Russell looks to me, well, he's going to start with a 4th place finish because Carl Leclerc is a lap down. Pepsi Marti to get his 17th season for Audi. second race in a row where we have all 24 cars that are still running.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
9 laps to go. Great lap there by Pepsi Marti. Audi continued to glide on Losail.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Oh, and there's our first car out of the race. It's Lewis Hamilton. And after 51 laps, a good racing for you. And the next two is like the final ride with the Studio Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton is dropped out of the race.
Yellow flag.
Next to the retirement of Lewis Hamilton. What a tough race. He's running in the 8th position, pulling steadily out there, and then he gets a DNF.
Green flag. This track is wide and the walls are very much further distance, and that's the kind of track we went to. If there was another track that was narrow, then we would have put it to a soft tire. That's the first little mistake that I made all throughout this race.
have enough to catch on with Oscar Piastri. I think he got 2 cars on the lead lap. That's the Norris and we'll see the front, but they're not the lap down yet. And I think they already got around George Russell.
Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Last lap after the Qatar Grand Prix of Losail. Fashion, we win the Qatar Grand Prix in the 18th, 17th win of the season. Absolutely a wonderful performance for Pepe Marti. And Audi gets his first and only win that is going to be here for the Qatar Grand Prix, and Kimi Antonelli becomes the driver of the day.
Pepe Marti can see the checkered flag and can now stand on the top step of the podium. It's victory for Pepe Marti.
And they're just starting to make it look easy out there. Now a hat-trick of wins. They're out there ahead. They've got the momentum on their side. And it's for the others now to try and up their game to stop that energy that they have.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now.
And we have never in the Qatar Grand Prix had a mega-sized lead like this. Nice job by the Team J445 team all season long with Audi. And we'd like to thank Audi so much for giving this one season opportunity to win the Constructors and the Drivers Championship. We really have been paid off along that. And a great job, a strong performance by the team.
And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
And obviously a wonderful job by Kimi Antonelli. He's already a lap down. He went from 13th and then he moved up into 6th place. And he was certainly driver of the day, starting from dead last, and then he finishes in P6 in the Mercedes. Good job by the Mercedes team, but George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Leclerc was 7th. Adger recovered his performance in 8th. And Carlos Sainz in 10th. Vic Martins dropped into 11th. Well, now that we won everything, we won the Constructors and the Drivers Championship. We have 562 points now, 229 over Lando Norris. George Russell in 3rd. Charles Leclerc 4th, and Kimi Antonelli 5th. And then the Constructor standings, 622.87 ahead of McLaren, 530 with Mercedes, Scuderia Ferrari 4th, and Red Bull Racing Ford in the top 5 with 263. Wonderful job up there at the Qatar Grand Prix. For the first time ever, we have had a mega-sized dominant lead, and the car was absolutely so fast and flawless with that fresh engine. Amazing job Pepe Marti in the Qatar Grand Prix. And there you see in the first corner that the McLaren team made a mistake at the start of the race, but they were able to recover it and ultimately got us to a third place finish. We're going to make this the homepage view, this thumbnail view for this Qatar Grand Prix. We're going to be changing the car in the next race and the season finale at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We will be changing into our gold motor, into our gold livery for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and for the last and final time. Last and final time, Pepsi Marti and Vic Martins will be driving the car before George Russell and Carlos Sainz takes over the wheel. Impressive job by the performance with a minute 27.461. Outstanding effort for the Team J445 team and Audi. And then Audi will be running its last ride with our team in the season finale race at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at Yas Marina Circuit. And we already won constructor points, so we increased our fan rating up. This could go up into 5 right now, so now we can add an additional sponsor up there. So we have one final race to go to end the first season. Well, we will do that for you tomorrow afternoon if we do still have time to do some Formula One. We'll do it in the afternoon because that way we can have spare time to watch the
Hey Chief, just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
So we completed our milestone in fan recognition and constructors point standings. Now we can get our owners training situated, and we're going to have corporate. So we have one more race left to go. We're not going to make any changes or anything else for the next one because we're edging near the end of the season of the Formula One. So in the season finale race in Abu Dhabi, we'll change our livery cars to gold, and then the gold in our race suits, and it's going to look great for the last time that Pepsi Marti and Vic Martins will be racing the Formula One car. We already made about 7 million so far. We've got 3 days remaining on that one, 2 days remaining on the other one. But I see something weird coming up with the chassis and the powertrain. I don't know what it is because it looks like it doesn't readapt or anything else. We're going to make another chassis upgrade now that we have 1698. We're going to do the rear wing secondary element. I'll put that as aerodynamic when the season comes to a close. Well, we have 7.4 million. We have the durability expansion. Let's see if we have a development expansion. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Have we done all of our expansions? Yeah, we've done all of our expansions. So let's do the aero development expansion. And merchandising department because we have enough of it. So what a good job we have done here at the Qatar Grand Prix with a mega dominating performance. Will we have the same results in the season finale race in episode number 24 when we go to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at Yas Marina Circuit? So thanks everyone for watching on the Speed JFO 303 channel. It was a wonderful race at the Qatar Grand Prix. Excellent mega performance it was. And this Audi car was fast. And the next race is the last and final time that we're going to run the Audi power engine before we change the odds a lot more in season 2 when we have George Russell and Carlos Sainz coming in behind the wheel. But we'll make our choice to see when Mercedes or Ferrari are going to be our engine of choice in season 2. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you then later on. And hopefully we will have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix either today or tomorrow. So goodbye everyone, have a good day, stay cool out there, don't get any exhaustion and drink plenty of water. Okay, signing off for now, see you then to the next one.